Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will start by covering May 1st through the 7th, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these to be timeless readings, meaning whenever this video shows up for you, that is the time that the messages are meant for you. So welcome, happy May. We have a super charged week coming up. And, I always come from the philosophy in being prepared and understanding what's ahead so that we can be empowered in the energy we're working with. So we are officially in the new moon in Taurus, which is also a solar eclipse. Remember, Taurus is the bull energy. So this moon will focus around predominantly finances. So Taurus is the energy of Wall Street. So if you've been feeling or thinking about making adjustments in your finances or making adjustments with financial commitments, paying off debt, maybe going to look for a house or selling of a house, making adjustment on Wall Street, this would be a great time for you to research. This would be a great time for you to gather information. The new moon energy is all about the new moon is all about intentions, wishes, how we want to feel, more of this in my life or something even better. So it's a really great time to explore how you want to feel. Let's say if you want to make adjustments in your finances, it may come from a place of, I want to feel more financially free. I want to feel more secure and safe in the resources that I have. God, how do I make adjustments to feel that energy, right? So we want the ideas to well up from inside and then using the power of our mind to create a step-by-step process to achieve our goals. I feel like this is a fun energy and it also comes on the Pluto retrograde energy. So Pluto, remember, is the energy of power. And in the shadow, it can activate power struggles, or it can bring these things up so that we can disengage in that energy and empower ourselves. How do we neutralize that energy if you have a tendency to quote unquote go there, to get sucked in? Or if you are noticing getting activated or triggered or hot or spicy, this would be a really great time to be able to pause in the energy, relax, breathe, soften, and open. And how can I move forward in this situation in a more empowered way, right? So you're making changes based on feeling more peace from the inside out, right? So again, it's checking in, creating that space of pause, nourishing yourself, especially for the next few weeks, because we are in the shadow phase of the Mercury retrograde, which can bring up stuff that needs to be renewed or reviewed, dotting our I's, crossing our T's, being extra thorough, taking extra time. This is all really good things. These are really all great adjustments to make, and we're not going to know where those adjustments are unless something comes up, right? So this is a great time to go with the flow. It may not be the best time for planning. This could be a great time for spontaneity. What do I feel like now? I've been doing that, deciding like what time to go places and what I want to eat instead of trying to plan everything out, because for me that doesn't seem to work out well. I have been practicing, if something doesn't feel right or something's not working out, how can I pivot? How can I make an adjustment? How can I check in and ask myself if I'm doing this based on routine, if I'm doing something because it's what I've always done, or could there be another way? And I always kind of pull back and check in. And that's a practice. That is a practice of patience. It's a practice of awareness. And remember, unfortunately, we don't live in a world that allows space for that unless we create it for ourselves. This is also the new moon in Taurus. We have this solar eclipse energy, and it's really going to bring our values to surface. What do we value? What is contributing to the quality of life that we're creating for ourselves? I'm really not going to know until we experience it. So again, it is a powerful energy. It can be a really great time for empowerment, feeling alive. Remember, earth angels are stepping out of the realm of fixing and saving and changing and making better. We're really susceptible and sensitive to judgments, and this should be this way, this should be that way. We're really working on acceptance, accepting of ourselves, accepting of others as they are. Remember, just because we're accepting people as they are doesn't mean that we have to keep contributing to the unbalanced energy or the getting consumed by the, could be anger, could be drama, could be what else? Frustrations, it could be confusion, right? Earth angels are really great problem solvers, but we're not necessarily in a space where it is our role and our job to problem solve for everybody. They have to be open, willing, and ready. If not, we get trapped in that fix, save, change, and make better. I'll fix you, I'll save you, I'll change you, I'll make you better. Because again, why? Because these dynamics create heartstrings, it creates soul ties, it creates that energy of, well, I feel bad for. We can certainly want the best for somebody and know that they may not be in the space where they're ready to be proactive in making changes. So a lot of times the best thing that you can do for them is pray for them, empower them by living your best life, right? And when people are open, they're open to change, they're open to making adjustments. From there you can comfort, support, teach, and inspire. That's part of the work that I do, is to shine a light on the why do we feel this way, why is this happening? And it only comes when clients are aware of the patterns and they're aware that they may be chasing their tail. And I do it, I still get in that space with things. Remember, the spiritual journey is lifelong, so there will always be some level of movement, of growth in some form or another. And so we might as well have fun while doing it, right? So we can really choose to be in this energy for these next few weeks. Again, we're in this eclipse tunnel. We will have the full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio mid-May, and then we'll have another new moon in April. So there's 2 new moons in April. So this is, again, April is a really powerful time to set intentions. If there's something that you want, or if you want to make adjustment, if you want to shift in a job, this is a really great time. If you want to search for a house, is a really great time. There's a lot of golden nuggets in this energy, but remember, you're free to choose how you want to move through that energy. I've been really struggling with anxiety. I'm a sensitive being, and with all the intensity of this energy that's coming up, I'm really mindful of the anxiety that comes up. So I know that in this time, I need extra sleep. I need to go for walks. I need more peace and quiet so that I can be with and aligned with the essence of my soul self to direct me in healthy ways, right? And so that sometimes is being able to opt out, or it's communicating something. And I was recently told, as I expressed my anxiety and this is how I'm feeling, I was recently told, have fun. And it was such a wonderful thing for me to hear, because it was that reminder, because I can certainly get caught up in responsibilities and what's coming and being inundated sometimes. And it is natural. It is called life, right? We are here on this planet to experience the 3D, to experience life in all facets of it, right? And so we have to remember that there are many opportunities for adventure, play, laughter, fun, and freedom. So I share this, but please know it's also work that I'm doing and growing in as well. And so I have more periods of adventure, play, laughter, fun, and freedom and lesser time slots of frustration, confusion, anxiety, because I recognize how it feels. So I pray that the divine supports you this week. So that's a little bit of what's going on in the energy if you're feeling all that powerful energy. So I'm going to work with the divine feminine energy, the moon energy this week. And I'm going to start with the goddess guidance oracle cards. And then for your message of healing this week will come from Moonology. Action steps will come from Moonology Manifestation. What you're being gifted with this week will come from Queen of the Moon Oracle. And then I will finish with a message of empowerment from the Angel Power Wisdom cards. All right, let me bring my energy back down, grounded as I open up space. I can already feel myself getting lifted up. So let me invite in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that would like to assist with this guidance for you this week. I want to connect my heart to the heart of the goddesses and the goddess guidance oracle cards. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through be for your best and highest good and the best and highest good of all concerned. All right. As I relax, breathe, soften, and open. Goddesses, who wants to come forward to support us this week? Who's the most important goddess that can be most beneficial for us this week to support us? May 1st through the 7th. Oh, you know what? I said April earlier, didn't I? Sorry about that. See? I meant May. Yes, May 1st through the 7th. I did say April earlier, and we're going into May. I apologize for that. This is where I needed to ground, to relax, breathe, soften, and open. I'm not going to stop this and change it. I'm just going to acknowledge that, hey, it happened, but I am aware it's May. I can't believe we're already in May. All right, well, let's get back to it. Goddesses, thank you for that. Edit. All right. I'm going to go with this goddess. All right. Let's begin. Oh, Mother Mary, expect a miracle. Have faith that your prayers have been heard and are being answered. Oh, this is so wonderful. Thank you, Mary. So this Mother Mary card is very nurturing, very comforting. Expect a miracle. So what I'm seeing with this is remembering to open your hearts and your hands to receive the blessings from the divine, right? The golden nuggets this week. So being mindful or aware of the have tos and shoulds and how you're giving. And then being able to balance that by creating space to receive. It can start by if somebody lets you go at a stop sign, or it starts by creating space to receive the love of the moment. Maybe when you get into work, you can take pause for a moment and ask for a blessing that day, or ask to be filled with an abundance of energy and support, especially if you have a job where things are getting really busy and there's a lot of have tos and shoulds. Let's see. Have faith that your prayers have been heard and answered. So sometimes when things feel like they're going awry, we may feel the frustration, we might feel the anger, we might feel the confusion. We might feel that space of this situation seems too overwhelming to fix, right? This situation, I feel underwater, I feel swallowed up or at the mercy of. That can certainly come up, and we can feel a sense of power loss, heartache, right? Feeling that energy in the stomach. But I cannot speak enough to remembering in those moments that you don't move through life alone, that the divine is there with you. And that when we ask for change, when you set intentions, what happens is energy starts to shift around you. So if you want to experience a life, for example, of mutually supportive, faith-filled people, maybe you're giving a lot to family and friends and you're feeling the need for that support, what will happen is anyone or anything that's not a vibrational match to that will need to be flushed out. Now, this is not about you calling everybody up and saying, your energy no longer serves me anymore, so I cannot, be with you. Don't call me. This is how we shift from the inside. What am I worthy of, deserving of? And Mother Mary is reminding you that you are worthy and deserving of miracles, meaning change can happen without you having to do something about it. And I know, listen, we live in a society, there's so much personal development and there's so much personal growth information out there about doing the 5 steps and what can you do and how can you make changes, and self-care and self-love. It's all connected to doing. And so I get a lot people who are doing all these things, but they're feeling more tired and depleted and confused and jumbled up. And I'm just saying, let's take a time out here from trying to problem solve to trying to do something to get something, right? How can we shift that in a space of the care of self or the love of self, which comes back to the nurturing and the well-being of presence, right? So we know, working in this energy, that signs come in the present moment. And when we're opening to the divine, when we're inviting that energy in, there's more space for them to facilitate change and miracles. When we're constantly existing in the mind, or I say going from the heart up the elevator into the mind, we're searching to problem solve from the past based on what probably didn't work back then either. So we're in this space where we can create a new space of being able to move forward and feel empowered, enlightened and growing in different ways that you probably never have experienced before. So again, pay attention to the repeated messages you're getting over and over and over again and how you feel about it. Is it another thing that you have to do? Are you still in that space of, I should do this, I should do that? Well, guess what? If we're in that space, it's coming from a level of unbalanced tension or discomfort. And it's really really difficult to experience the nourishment in those things if we're feeling already resistance to it. Oh, I should this, I should that. That means we're shaming on ourselves, right? And so I almost feel like stop the crazy train. I did that last year in 2021. I did that in May, and I just jumped off the train and I just stopped everything. I stopped the train. I don't know how to describe it. I basically went on a sabbatical in my own apartment, and I just told friends that I needed to go on a sabbatical, that I was going into this space because there was just some stuff I had to figure out. And I wasn't going to get it from the outside world. We go to the outside world to seek information for the why, right? But there comes a point when that information that we're going outside of ourselves for is no longer helpful. It's because it's almost like we already know these things, right? We're going outside to get something. So many of you may be at the point where it's now time to, if you're feeling inundated by information and have-tos and shoulds, and you should do this and you should do that, being able to come back into creating space within. And this is a lot of reason why I opted out of anything that in some form that I could feel was implanting some level of influence or shoulds. So, TV. I opted out of social media platforms. I opted out of information outside of me and for what I thought was going to be the month of May, ended up being May, June, and July of a lot of prayer, a lot of silence. And I also understand that, I was able to be in my own space with myself. And that's not feasible for everyone. Some of you probably have children or you have somebody else in your home, but being able to communicate that space for yourself. I know moms who have gone in their beautiful walk-in closets and have laid down on the floor to create space. I know people who have locked the bathroom door and laid in an empty tub to create space. Remember, just these minor adjustments of 5 minutes of nothingness. And again, remember, sometimes when we create that space of nothingness, all the stuff we need to hear and know and feel comes up, and that's okay too, right? Learning how to be with the discomfort and leaning into the fears for wisdom, for information. So you're becoming empowered with your shadow self, right? The part of you that might be disruptive or controlling, the part of you that might be jealous or petty or may feel codependent or victimized, that part of you that may get aggressive, right? This would be a really great time to just be aware of that those shadow parts of us, because there's so much information there. Because then from that space we can learn how to nurture, how we can self-soothe, how we can comfort, and it comes from a level of being, right, with yourself. And again, when we go to make change, miracles happen, but we can't be in a space of, I want change, but I want everything to remain the same, right? That's what happens often. So being able to surrender. It's kind of like I see the image of like going down a slide, right? When I was in Disney, there was this, I forget what it was. It was a water slide that was really high and you literally like shoot down it like a cannon. And I remember wanting to do it so badly, but getting up to the top, it was so scary. And then when I did it, it was one of the best experiences I had, So sometimes that fear builds up, and being able to release and surrender and going with those emotions. Again, remember, it's never healthy or okay to dump anger on someone else. It's never okay or healthy to suck somebody else within that, right? We don't want to start dumping, but being able to create a safe space for you to process that. Journaling is really great. If you have a property where there is space, you can throw rocks in the woods, right? To get that energy out. Obviously, counseling and therapy and being able to release in some healthy way with somebody who is licensed to support you, or somebody who has the experience in the area that you need to support you. Obviously, I do spiritual work. That's my area of expertise. So you want to really check in to see what those needs are. So anyway, I feel like Mother Mary, it wants to remind you that she is open and ready to gift you and give you miracles this week. If we feel like, I don't see how this can change, I don't understand what to do about this, being able to say, okay, Mother Mary, I invite you in and I'm open to receiving miracles. And then we surrender how that happens, right? Surrender the control. All right, let's get moving here. So, Mother Mary's message of healing. That being said, expect a miracle, open to receiving. What message of healing can support the Earth Angels this week? A time for healing. So this is the balsamic moon. The balsamic moon is the dark moon, right? It's the energy right before the new moon, I believe. So again, we can be in this space of what is it that I need? How do I want to feel? So sometimes for me, it's peace-filled, joyful, alive, energetically abundant. And those words come from an awareness of how I might be feeling. For me, it's anxiety, right? For me, it's the pressure of responsibilities and have tos and shoulds, right? I work with myself, and it's finding balance with giving and receiving. So knowing that these situations and experiences that come up, especially, in the midst of this Mercury retrograde eclipse tunnel. So patience with yourself this week, a reminder that you're healing, taking a deep breath to relax, breathe, soften, and open. And that healing can be so cathartic. So think about if you've ever had to have surgery, or if you've ever broken a bone. I hope you haven't. Or if you've ever gotten a cut, or, I don't want to put that energy out there in a level of creating something. But if you've ever needed a physical healing in some way, I certainly have cut myself with a knife or a paper cut. What happens is we may put some antiseptic, we might bandage it up, but then there is time for it to heal on its own, right? We teach this in Reiki, right? That the body needs time because it has the ability to heal itself, right? When we get sick, when we get a cold or we get a virus, if your immune system is healthy and strong and you're nourishing your body, time will heal. That virus will move through your body and your immune system will take care of you. Well, it's the same thing with the divine, right? When something comes up or we set the intention to make change, it feels like an open wound or a cut. It's sore, and you might feel that this week. And being able to nurture yourself, being able to comfort yourself, you might need extra sleep, you might need some quiet time out in nature, getting some fruits and vegetables and plants, and making some foods that will fortify your body. I mean, I love lentils and grains and hearty meals, so comfort food, but it's full of plants, it's full of vegetables, it's full of protein. You may need that this week. Again, it might require some extra time and attention, but you're doing it for the love of self, for the nourishment of self, right? So finding ways to really enjoy it because we are in a time of healing, and healing takes time. Cannot rush it. So this is where Mother Mary says, and I can support you with miracles this week. I don't know how this is going to work out, but I'm open to receiving a miracle. Go and do it. Go out. Angels, guides, Mother Mary, divine. Let's see here. So now we have action steps. What can you do to support your healing this week? Angels, Mother Mary, divine. What can the Earth Angels do this week to support their healing? Let's see here. I'm going to pull two. So we have New Moon Agenda. Think it through. See? So I said do. What can the Earth Angels do this week? And I immediately wanted to retract it because I don't want it to come from a place of action, right? I want it to come from inspired action as opposed to influence, searching the mind. And then I just kind of left it because I'm like, well, the cards will support that. And again, this is exactly what I mean. So think it through, the pause, right? If you're going to react in a way that might be energetically draining or depleting, and please, friends, I can understand how challenging it is, let's say, to be out in the world with aggressive, angry energy. Remember, the entire planet is changing, and fear gets activated with change. This is why Earth Angels need extra sleep and rest and silence and pause and stillness and nothingness and surrender, right? Because the energy on the planet isn't as abundant as it has been in the past, right? And so we do require more sleep and rest. We do require more space to be with ourselves, to be with mutually supporting, faith-filled, loving energies, right? This is why when you get caught up in the have-tos and shoulds, you get depleted real fast and you get consumed by those energies. It's just an awareness. So if you're being asked to do something or there's responsibilities, just think it through. You want to act instead of react. Is this going to contribute to the quality of life I'm creating for myself? And I feel like this is the energy of that pause. And again, here we have like the same energies kind of the moons here, right? It's that energy right before the releasing as we open up to receiving. And then the second action step is reflect on your priorities. Again, it's another energy of pause. So we've got this new moon energy going on, but then we have the last quarter moon in Aquarius. So Aquarius is a water sign. It's energy of flow and movement. So reflect on your priorities. Again, just what I was saying earlier, is this going to contribute to the quality of life I'm creating for myself? This would be a really great week to get clarity on what that even is. And remember, discomfort, adversity, and challenges is a perfect opportunity to explore what that is. I don't feel good in this. What would be healthier? What would feel more nourishing and supportive, right? So I keep just feeling the energy of pause this week. Again, we've got to be proactive to support ourselves, but you're not in this alone, right? Earth angels are making these changes because in the next few years, up until 2025, we are going to be sharing these new thought streams, these new ways of moving forward, these new ways of being, well-being, right? Because the old information with self-development and personal growth is just messy, right? Because we're in this transitional space. And so Earth angels are in a space of coming up with really some creative, inventive, powerful, new ways of being. And it's not about teaching it to others. It's about being it ourselves. And then those that are seeking that will be naturally attracted to you, right? So the shift that you're doing within is actually what's going to be creating your future. It could be your clients, it could be your job, future job, it could be future friends, it could be future partnerships or partnership, it could be your future home, right? So this is why this inner work is so important, because all those things that you want to get will be a byproduct of how you're feeling on the inside out, right? All right, so what are you being gifted with this week? I love this. Think it through. Reflect on your priorities. It's a time for healing. Be open for miracles. What are you being gifted with this week? The unexpected. So we have the blue moon here. Yeah. So this is card number 7. And I just feel like it goes in alignment with expecting miracles. Again, there's two sides to the coin of the unexpected. So I'm feeling like I want to remind you to pivot. If something's not working, if something doesn't feel right. I did this the other night with dinner. We were going to go to food shop, and Nick had said we're both hungry and it probably isn't the best idea for us to go in there hungry. And I was like, you know what? Good idea. Where do you want to go to eat? And we're both plant-based, and so our options aren't always plentiful. So we pulled into a restaurant and neither of us were feeling it. So I just sat there a minute and I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's try. And we actually tried Lemongrass in Warwick. If you're local, I heard it was a really great space, really great restaurant. And so we just looked up the menu to see if they had vegetarian options, and they did. And we went and we got there right before it got busy. So our waiter was attentive and we had a joyful experience. The food was so good. I really enjoy Nim Chow. And a lot of times those places sell out of the Nim Chow. And they had it. and it was delicious, and we ended up getting out of there right as it started to get super busy. And then we went over to Trader Joe's to go food shopping. There was hardly anybody in there. And so here's the thing, it was unexpected. We had an unexpected night, and instead of forcing the agenda, let's go food shopping first, we've got to do this first, just that awareness of, we're hungry, we're gonna have food, let's figure out dinner first, let's nourish ourselves first before we take action. And we had a beautiful, fun, unexpected night of, again, not a lot of people. So you have to remember that the divine is always trying to support you. But if we're in our mind constantly with the list and ticking the boxes, I mean, those are all beautiful things. But it doesn't mean it always has to be done in the way that we've always done it. This is where going with the flow this week or the next few weeks, checking in, seeing how you're feeling. What is it that I need? And it's really fun to have people in your life who get it, right? It's really fun to have people in your life that you can experience these things together, because it just amplifies the energy, right? You may not have a partner that does that, but you can certainly call in friendships. You can certainly call in new dynamics. Again, if you want to go to a class, or you want to experience a yoga class, or you want to experience a writing class, or maybe you just want to go to one of those salt rooms or float tanks, or just have a different experience. There's a lot of places that are opening up right now. Again, if you feel safe, be open this week to the unexpected. That's what you're being gifted with. So something that might feel challenging or unexpected adversity can really turn out to be a blessing in the long run. Especially because this is card number 43, which is connected to the spiritual and the divine. And I love that these are together. Beautiful. I also see, two people here, and it could also be like, let's say if there's been disharmony in a relationship, or there's been tension in a relationship, the unexpected could be that that energy neutralizes, and it shifts in some way. So if you're challenged with a partnership or a relationship in some way, sometimes just surrendering it and being open to a miracle can create better relationship dynamics. Instead of, what do I do about this? Okay, checking in with, how do I want to feel? And again, this is a new process for a lot of people, because we're so used to problem solving and doing something to get something. So again, it's new thought streams, and it just takes practice, right? We're learning. So final message from the Angel Power Wisdom cards. All right, Divine Mother Mary, what message of empowerment do you have for the Earth Angels this week? What is the message of empowerment for the Earth Angels this week? Angel Warriors. Wow, I love it. Look at that. It says, angels oversee your life and protect you. I am absolutely loving how these cards have been in the last few weeks. It has been really cool energy. We're seeing lots of purples here, lots of blues. I feel like the upper chakra energy. So we have like the empowerment here, which is yellow. Then we've got purples and blues, which is like the throat chakra, the third eye, the crown. We see a lot of heart energy here and love. So we're working with the upper. Remember, the throat, the third eye, and the crown are connected to feminine energies. The root chakra, the sacral, and the solar plexus are connected to masculine energies, and the heart is the balance of the masculine and the feminine. So I love how we start with this balance energy and we'll work our way up, right? And again, this is that silence, that pause, that rest, that stillness energy, being open and receptive. We are angelic warriors, right? But again, it's a way of being to create this energy as opposed to picking up and slinging the sword. That is not our natural state of being. Now, there's plenty of souls on this planet that are doing just that are out there, that are quote unquote fighting for the greater good, right? There needs to be balance, but Earth Angels are not that energy. You have all tried to fight, I'm sure, in some form, in some way, and we just end up getting depleted. So when you you can activate your power from the inside out, feel empowered from the inside out. That's how we create this new society, this new way of being, right? And it's amazing how powerful that is, because then you no longer attract those lower vibrational, unbalanced, unhealthy energies, right? So you're doing it for the love of self first and foremost. And again, learning takes time. Seeing, understanding, healing in change takes time, right? And space. So how can you laugh and play and sing and dance in the midst of all that? And again, it's just self-awareness. All right, let me just look up. I just want to look up that meaning first. Let's see. Okay, so I'm going to actually read the book on this. So it says, appointed as your protectors of justice, angels are the soldiers of heaven. Every believer should be encouraged and strengthened. Angels are watching. They mark your path. They oversee the events of your life and protect the interests of God. They are always working to promote his plans and bring about his highest path for you. Again, this is what we're becoming, right? We're working with these energies and becoming the embodiment of that on earth. It says you're being encouraged on your spiritual journey to become an earth angel to heal and inspire yourself, loved ones, believers, and the world around you. So I feel like this is the end game. This is why we're doing all these things, right? You remember, you have that ability to embody unconditional love. You are incredibly giving and forgiving. It is what makes you so beautiful, and what makes you feel so, makes the people around you feel so alive and uplifted. But not everybody is worthy, deserving of your money, of your time, of your energy. And we're going to start to see the lack of integrity. We're going to start to see the greed. We're going to start to see the selfishness. And again, it's not a judgment, because we have all been in that space in some form or another, right? And it is really in those energies where we see that we need to create some boundaries in a space. Wise selfishness for ourselves. Again, if you start seeing the greed or the disingenuous energy, it's because we have to remember that we are worthy and deserving of financial freedom. And again, with this Taurus new moon, money stuff could come up, right? And you deserve to feel financially secure. You deserve to feel wealthy, abundant. And sometimes when we're not valuing ourselves, we can give away our time and our energy and feel resentful, because you might not be being paid for what you're worth, right? You might not be compensated or appreciated, or you might not be in the place where there's affection and attention, right? So again, that stuff might come up this week for us to make adjustments. Again, if you see the integrity, the lack of integrity in the world, again, it's just the awareness of your own integrity and why you are such a gift to the world, right? So again, we're seeing these things to be reminded of the gifts that we do have inside of us, and to treasure that. And again, this is being in this space that you are a beacon of light on this planet. So angels are watching and protecting you with love in their hearts and visions of peace for the world. So beautiful. Well, on that note, I think I'm going to sneeze. I'm going to close space. It went away. Let me thank all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance for you today. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done. I want to send forth Mother Mary, again, if you're open and receptive to those miracles, that faith and trust that you have these forces, these beautiful, loving forces that are operating with you. Go out and shine your light and enjoy yourself. Love it. So if you are struggling with the why, if you are challenged with the new way of being, right? How to make adjustments. If I can support you in any way, again, scroll through my channel playlists. You might find more insight to support you. There is information in the notes below on how you can book an appointment with me. There is still video chat, remote sessions, as well as in-office sessions. And obviously there's plenty out there in the world. So just pray to be guided to that which will nourish you and support you. And remember, I love you. You're not going this alone. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine, trust your intuition, and I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.